you know that it's possible for a person to make $1 million every single year, but somehow not be a millionaire? Weird, right? Well, that's because of this thing called net worth. Today, we're gonna dive into what net worth really is and how you can actually calculate your own. So get excited! Hey guys, I'm Esther. Welcome to Adulting with Esther, the channel that we talk about things you don't learn in school, like personal finance, relationships, and how to tie your shoes. Or maybe you did learn that in school. Anyways, today we're gonna be talking about net worth, what it is, and how to calculate your own. But before we get started, I wanted to give you a reminder to go ahead and press that like button down below. It makes us come up more in the search engine so other people can find these videos. And go ahead and click the subscribe button if you haven't already. And then, once you click that subscribe button, a little alarm is gonna pop up. Go ahead and click that too. What that'll do is it'll alert you every time a new video gets posted by me. And heads up, they come out on Tuesdays. So today we're gonna be talking about net worth and how you can calculate your own. What net worth really is, it's just a snapshot of your life. Well, not just your life. No, not that kind of life. More of your finances, what they look like at a given point in time. So if you've ever heard of something called a balance sheet, that's what this is. It goes through your assets and looks at your liabilities and finds the difference. Or in more layman's terms, what the net worth is, the subtraction of all the things that you own minus all the things that you owe. Today we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail and what assets and liabilities are, and then we're going to apply it to you so you can use this knowledge to fuel your financial future. But what I really want you to get out of all of this is, like I said in the beginning, you can make $1 million every single year and still not be a millionaire. And what that comes down to is not how much money you make every single year, but it's how you treat your money and what you do with it. So lock that away in your noggin and let's get going. Now that you know what net worth is, we need to go through the steps of finding yours. And the first thing to do that is by identifying and finding all of your accounts. And I do mean all of them, because we need to use this information to calculate the difference between your assets and your liabilities. And again, when I say all, I mean your employer-funded 401k or 403b, your checkings accounts, your saving accounts, those apps that you downloaded from the App Store that you thought were gonna help make you a millionaire, that were supposed to be like automatic investments. Maybe you have basically everything. Just make sure you have it all. And I'm include debt too. You need your student loans, you need all of that information. Now that you have all your account information in one place, we're gonna go through your assets, which are the things that you own, things that belong to you, or even maybe bring you money. Those are the best kind. But first, we're gonna look at monetary assets. Those are that subcategory of those assets that deal with your checkings accounts, your saving accounts, or your online saving accounts, anything that is easily liquid cash. And by liquid, it means you can get to it quickly. You don't have to call the bank, wait 3 weeks, have them change the different types of forms. Cryptocurrency is not cash. Your cold, hard cash. Okay, write that number down. That's your monetary assets. Now you're gonna tally up all your investment assets. These are things that can be employer-based, computer-based, or maybe you've done on your own. Employer-based investment assets will likely be things like 401ks or 403bs. Go ahead and log into that account and find out how much money you have in those. Once you've done that, look at your computer-based or app-based investment accounts. Those are things like Acorn or Betterment or other ones that exist out there. The last one is going to be if you have an investment brokerage account, or maybe you've opened your own Roth IRA or traditional IRA or a self-directed IRA. If you've done any of those likely contain things like mutual funds, ETFs, stocks, bonds, maybe you've even traded options. Go ahead and tally up all of those. These are your investment assets. The last category of assets is your physical assets, the things that which you have purchased and bring honestly more sentimental value than monetary value. These are things like your car or your home or your iPhone. The only problem with all of these assets is the technical definition of asset is something that either has value or brings you an income. And your home and your car and your iPhone probably aren't bringing you an income. In fact, if you try and sell them today, you will be selling them for less money than when you purchase them. The only difference is a house. But a house you have to take a mortgage out on, And I could go on about this all day. Well, now we've got to look at the other side of the spectrum. We've already totaled up our assets. Now we need to look at our liabilities. And our liabilities are more simply put as the things that you owe. You have two types of liabilities, short-term liabilities and long-term liabilities. Short-term liabilities are the things that are due in the short term. Think of 0 days to like 3 to 6 months, something in the near future. For long term, think about 6 months to years and years and years and years and years. Think 30-year home loan kind of thing. So let's look at the short-term debt first. Things that you'll probably categorize in here would be credit card debt, if you've racked some of that up, and medical bills. Don't put things like your utilities in here. That's not appropriate. That's a reoccurring bill. We're talking about actual debt that has accumulated over time. The other category of liabilities is going to be long-term debt. Things that typically go into here could be car loans. Things that could go in here could be your mortgage. Things that go in here could be your student loans. All of these values, add them up. All of these values, add them up. Now you have your total assets and your total liabilities. Once you have these two pieces of information, identifying your net worth is actually really easy. We just need to find the difference. Subtract one from the other. Now, here's where it gets scary and where it comes back to that topic we were discussing in the very beginning. You can be a millionaire and have a net worth of 0. In fact, it's possible to have a negative net worth. And that's what happens when your liabilities are larger than your assets. Kind of scary, isn't it? And now you did it. You calculated your net worth. You probably don't feel super accomplished, and that's okay. Me either. The reason is most people's net worth is not very good. In fact, 0 net worth isn't great, but negative net worth is even worse. And that's kind of a bummer. Now, don't get me wrong. Having a negative net worth is a bummer, but it's not something you can't fix. In fact, most people, when they're starting out, high school, college, young adults, even in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and probably even more, a lot of people start out with a negative net worth or a really, really low one. The difference between what they're doing and what you're going to do is you're going to track yours regularly. And by regularly, I don't mean all the time. You can if you want, super fun, highly recommend it. But what you can do is you can track yours annually. And what you want to see is your net worth growing over time. Doesn't have to go from negative 5,000 to $1 million in one day, but you want to see a positive trend like you would on a graph. In fact, I highly recommend graphing it out over time, and you can see that your net worth is in fact growing. Now, I don't recommend sitting down and doing this activity on paper an awful lot because you probably have a lot better things to do with your time, and I do too. I'd like to recommend an app. I use Personal Capital for this, and what's really nice is that it actually does the graphs for me, and I'm able to see my money growing over time. And over the past few years, it's been so exciting to see my investments grow and my debt decrease, and see that graph go in a positive trend. And I'll tell you what, in a year or two, I might be out of the negative zone, which is very exciting. But maybe you're sitting here looking at your net worth and you're starting to get kind of disappointed or maybe even depressed, and it's okay. I've been there too. But what can you do when your net worth is negative or low and try to improve it? Well, some of the things you can do are cut your expenses. If you see that you have a lot of liabilities taking money from your assets like all the time, like maybe your massive house or your really fancy car that you don't actually need, or you have like 75 music subscriptions, consider reducing some of those expenses. And with that money you save, consider using that money to pay off those liabilities that you have, like student loan debt, credit cards, and medical bills. Net worth calculations really aren't complicated. Your ultimate goal is just to be able to increase your assets and to decrease your liabilities. Well, friends, thanks for taking the time to calculate your net worth with me today. If you didn't do it today, I hope you take the time to do it for yourself later. Investing in yourself is the best thing you can possibly do before you even worry about investing in stocks and bonds and other types of things. Do you have net worth questions? If you do, let me know in the comment box down below, or you can contact me on Twitter or Instagram and follow me along on my own adulting journey. I'm so excited to hear about yours. Let me know how it goes. Like if you enjoyed this video or you got value out of it. Subscribe down below if you'd like to see more of this content. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you. And remember, any action is better than no action, and investing in yourself is the best thing that you can do. So take the time and figure out your net worth today so that you can make a plan for the future and live the life that you deserve. All right, guys, bye.